put effort into your work. It's the best way to actually enjoy it. If you put effort into your work, you're going to be more likely to actually complete your job to an acceptable standard, and you're also going to be more likely to repeat it in the future. You're going to create this tiny bit of progress towards building the habit of actually doing it properly. Doing your work properly, doing it well, means focusing. It means being able to properly set your mind to the task that's in front of you and analyze all of the steps, all of the obstacles, and everything that you need to do, everything that's slowing you down, take that away, everything that could possibly speed you up, improve it, and make it more effective, because that's what you want. That's what focusing is. That's what doing your job to a good degree is, to actually focus. So you need to focus on your work, focus on your duties and what you need to do, focus on the end goal, make the end goal before you start so you have somewhere to aim for, and be realistic as well. You're just going to get discouraged if you don't aim properly and you shoot too high and you don't make it. So another aspect of doing your work properly is bringing your attention back to the work, because our minds are chimp minds, where we have caveman minds, where just we haven't evolved since a couple of 100,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And we wander off to different places even when we're supposed to be doing something. So say you're trying to meditate, you keep wandering off in your mind. You have to keep bringing your attention back to the breath. You have to keep bringing your attention back to what you're supposed to be focusing on, and that's exactly what it's all about. You need to bring your attention back to whatever you're doing. Bring it back. Notice that you're distracted. Bring it back. That's how to utilize the truth properly. It's to use it in the form of awareness, and then you bring it back. That's what everything is about, really. Just bringing your loose cannon mind back to the project you have in front of you. And when you're bringing it back to the task that's right in front of you, you forget about everything else. You just don't think about anything else at all. You just you zone out of the rest of the world, and then you focus only on the task that's in front of you, and you just do it. You just do it. You can do it almost without thinking, or purely only thinking about the task. You can think consciously but still somehow be in a flow state about it, because you're not thinking about how you're thinking consciously, if you get what I mean. You're not thinking like, okay, so I should probably think of this. No, you just think of it. You think of it automatically. You think that you got to do something, and then you think of it, then you do it. You do it immediately. That's what cutting everything else out is. It's cutting out all the wastage. It's only focusing on what you need to actually have awareness on and insight on to complete your goal. That's what you need. And the best way to initialize this process is just get started. Just immediately do the work. Just don't think about it, just immediately do it. And that's how it becomes habitual, because habits are performed automatically by nature and you don't think about them. Let's say you stretch every time you get out of bed. You don't do that when you think after the first 30 days, do you? You don't consciously think, yeah, I should probably do this. No, you just do it immediately. It's instinctive. It's an inbuilt reaction to your environment, and it's due to the fact that you've been doing it many times before. The repetitions build it up into your brain, and then you become more likely to do it again. So once you've started the work, then you accelerate immediately. So you start off slowly. You don't try to go super fast at once, because that's just gonna take the soul out of you. You start off kind of slow, but then you accelerate right away. You start going. You start making yourself move faster right away. But you don't start super fast right away, if you know what I mean. Because if you're super fast, then you can't accelerate. Because acceleration is improving your speed, and when you improve your speed, it means your previous speed was lower than your current speed, and nothing can be that much higher than a super fast speed, can it? So acceleration is really the proper improvement technique that you can use for your work. So make sure to not go too fast at first, but then accelerate right away. And do your work at a high standards, then just do it immediately, as I said, but do it as well as you can. Like, look out for different ways to do it as well as possible. Complete it to the best of your ability. You don't have to consciously think about completing it very well. You just put in loads of effort into it. Even if you have to, let's say, paint the outside of an entire cathedral, you're not going to be painting it with a brush. You're going to be splashing buckets of paint onto it, and you're going to be splashing it over and over again until it's all perfectly covered. It's shiny, it's a good spectacle, everything is perfect. That's what you do. You don't overanalyze every little task. You just put yourself straight into the fray and push yourself to the limit and put as much effort into the work as possible. So that's doing it to a high standard. It improves your identity of yourself. It improves other people's perception of you. So you're just more likely to do better at work in the future anyway, whether it be people giving you tasks, people having this subconscious belief that you're probably going to do it very well because you did the thing before well, and you pick up on this, believe it or not. You pick up on what people subconsciously think about you. You can know if people are doubting you. You can know if people genuinely believe in you, because it's just instinctive and it makes sense. And most of all, when you do it to a higher standard, it's like almost in a paradoxical way, it's more fun than when you just do it in a way that's not to that best of your ability, because then you just get bored. It's lethargy. It's not as good as you would want it to be. So you're not going to enjoy it as much. That's why satisfaction only comes from competency, in my opinion. Like, when you get good at something, it gets enjoyable. If you suck at it, then it's not enjoyable whatsoever. And when you don't try, you don't get the satisfaction, and the world knows about it, and you know about it, and you know that you've been a lazy little person and that you're not doing it and as well as you can, and that you shouldn't continue in this way. You should just put more effort in, and again, accelerate your speed, just accelerate your effort, and it's going to be more of an improvement in the long run, trust me. So this leads on to getting more competence. So when you do it to a high standard, you kind of sort of push the boundary of your limit a bit, and you get a bit better next time. Do it again, you get better again the time after that, and before you know, you're on a completely different level to where you were when you began, and you get more competent, and that in turn improves your enjoyment of the topic or the project, because you're just doing it better, you're doing it faster, you're doing it without as much pain, so it's more fun. Because pain is kind of just the antonym to fun, isn't it? That's why you can't just be determined once. You can't be persevering once. You have to do it consistently over a certain period of time. You can't think, oh, I'm going to be persistent today, and then not the next day. That's not how it works. Persistence is only over a large number of days, and this is repeated over and over. We all know it, but you need to get it drilled into your head so hard that it feels like your skull is about to explode, because our tendency to ignore things is astonishingly much higher than we realize, and I've noticed this with myself as well. And then when you get more competence in this project, you're, as I said before, you enjoy it more, but this enjoyment then means you're going to do it more, and doing it more means you're going to get better at it, and then that getting better at it is going to in turn make you enjoy it more, which is again going to lead back around the loop again. So that's a positive feedback loop. It's where a cause of something leads to the effect of another thing, which becomes the cause of the original cause in itself. So yeah, that's a feedback loop. 3 stages. There's trying hard, competency, enjoyment. Enjoyment leads to trying hard again. And it's great to take advantage and utilize that, because you gain momentum, and momentum is the name of a feedback loop. So yeah, that's pretty much all this video has to say. Put more effort into your work. It's pretty much a step-by-step guide showing you everything, and that's what we need to do. I figured that out recently, and it's just something that needs to be done. So yeah, get more competence by trying harder and improve. Make sure to get started as well. You can only do this with focus. Accelerate right away. Don't start off at a super high speed, because then you can't accelerate. You can only decelerate or stay at the same pace, which is inertia. And do it to a high standard. You'll enjoy it more. Better competence, more feedback loops. That should be it. Yeah.